All right, so Don, you said the only thing that you really wanted to talk about, besides anything else we can come up with, is just the playoff picture as of now, and then the what's left of silly season.
Yes, those are the two things I'm most interested in
Yeah.
talking about.
Well, thank goodness for that because I wasn't able to watch the Roval yesterday, so I couldn't comment on it even if I wanted to.
Mm. Yeah, I got to watch it. It was, well, a lot of people said it was a great race. I think it was okay. Chase won, so I'm happy, but I just found it was an above average race. It was a good race, but it didn't have that great big moment that the last two Roval races that I've had, with the finish in 18 and Chase wrecking in 19.
So, so out of the three, would you say has probably been the weakest Roval race we've had?
It's been the weakest, but it still wasn't a bad race.
All right. Um, I did, however, get the chance to watch a bit of the Xfinity Series race, and that was a mess, to say the least.
It was. That was insane.
I mean,
Fun to watch.
we had cars slipping and sliding everywhere. We had like what was it? It was somewhere towards the end of the first stage, and we had just like 8 different cars that got taken out in the span of one lap.
Yeah. Like, how many times did Gregson end up spinning out? Like, 12? He spun out at least 3 times and still finished second. That I can think of.
I don't know. It's just
He was all over the place.
that right there is just crazy. Oh boy. I will say this though. It was nice to see more rain racing. We don't get that too often, but when we do get it, it is nice.
Mm-hmm.
But like, as for the playoff picture, I mean, can you and I both agree? Like, it is a shock to see Kyle Busch getting eliminated in the round of 12.
Yeah. I don't think, well, I don't remember my preseason predictions, but I believe I had him in the final 4. I know he didn't have him win the championship, but I think I had him in the final 4. And I think that's what everyone expected from him this year.
That's what we all expected, but like, 2020 being 2020, I guess Bush has just been dealt a bad hand or something because this year has been uncharacteristic of him to say the least.
Yeah.
I mean,
I just hope that he can get back on the right track next year. It's different not seeing him winning.
Yeah, definitely not seeing him winning. It is a shock. I will say that. I mean, it's uncharacteristic of Bush, is what it is. What about the other 3 that got eliminated? Were you surprised at all?
No, especially now with Boyer and Amarola. I think Amarola's only shot at making it was Talladega, and Boyer's was the Roval, and they both had okay runs before they getting wrecked. And then Dylan, I think he just got unlucky. I think he would have been able to make it on if he didn't. Like, I think he wrecked in all 3 races. Did he wreck it Talladega?
I don't remember what Talladega was Talladega was a wreck fest and a half. I don't remember if Dylan got taken out in something.
Because he had the issues. Well, that spun out yesterday by Kyle Busch. They had some problems after that, and of course he had mechanical problems at Vegas. I think he would have done okay. He would have been closer. I think he probably would have been 9th if he didn't wreck out, but I don't think he would have made it.
I think I can't remember. I think I had, but then again, these predictions that I made with Jacob, they were not good in the slightest. But like, I mean, I think we both had Dylan making the round of 8, but I think that was purely because of how he did in the round of 16. I think the way he performed in the round of 16 kind of clouded how he had done the rest of the season. Because I mean, like, don't get me wrong, Texas was a phenomenal win for him, but at the same time, I mean, you didn't really hear of him a lot of the time throughout the course of the regular season.
Yeah, he was okay throughout the year. Like he almost made the chase without even, or the playoffs without even winning the race. I think he was like 17th or 18th, not missing the race right before it. Um,
I will say this though, it does suck for Boyer because this was his last. As we heard earlier this week, this is his final year, a full time year anyway, and he's not. He's never gonna be able to go out and get a shot at the title.
yeah, I'd like to see him win one more race, but I don't think he'll be able to do it. Of course, him win at Kansas, that's his home track.
I'd love.
But
I'd love. Sorry, go ahead.
yeah, I don't think he's gonna be able to do it though. I think some of the other drivers, and then finally will win all 3 races next round.
Would not surprise me in the slightest, but considering how well the non-playoff drivers were running at the Roval, from what I read and from what I saw in the highlight reels, it wouldn't surprise me if they do well at these next 3 tracks either.
Yeah, like Byron, I think probably led a career high in laps. I remember checking that out yesterday. He had like 27 yesterday. Because I remember checking out, like, has he ever led that many laps? Because he was out front for a long time.
Not to my knowledge.
It's third. It's tied for third in his most laps led.
Wow.
Daytona, 500 in 2019 and 600 last year. So both 2 races last year, and then it's tied with Kansas from earlier this year. When they tried the strategy and almost came up with a good finish.
Indeed. What about Alex Bowman though? I mean, did you have him make? Would you have said that earlier this year or at the preseason? Would you have had Bowman moving on to the round of 8?
I know. I think I'm trying to remember because I did do like the preseason predictions way back in like the day of the 500, and I'm trying to remember like who I picked back then, but I really can't. I know I picked Havoc as my champion, but that's about it. But I think I had Logano second, maybe. But I'm not 100% sure what I had.
Well, I will say though, I think a lot of us underestimated Bowman because his Fontana win was fantastic, but then after the COVID break and coming back, Hendrick basically, I don't know what happened to that organization, but they just had they fell off, if you know what I mean.
They came back strong because like Chase almost won like 3 races in a row. Bum was in contention for a good amount of wins. Darlington was a great race for him, but then after like Bristol, they started falling off.
Yeah, which sucks to see as a Hendrick fan, as always, to see them not doing well. But it is nice. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, it's just kind of the normal Hendrick thing. They always kind of fall off in the summer. It feels like.
Well, at least they didn't fall off as bad as John Hunter Nemechek.
Yeah, that stinks.
No, at one point during the season, Nemechek was the second highest rookie in the standings, and now he's somewhere in the mid-20s right now.
Yeah.
And he's basically.
It really stinks for him.
Sorry, go ahead.
It really stinks for him.
It really does. I'll tell you what also stinks, that the fact that the Rookie of the Year battle is over already.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think they need to do regular season points for Rookie of the Year. Because there's no way, in my opinion, that Custer should have won it. I think Tyvek had a great year. I think Tyvek should have won it.
I agree 100%. Custer may have the win, but Reddick has just been more consistent this entire year.
Even Christopher Bell's come on strong later in the year.
Oh yeah, definitely. No, Bell's massively improved the second half of the season. His first half of the season pales in comparison.
Oh yeah. Like yesterday, he ran second when Byron was leading. He was in second basically the entire time. Like he was up front and then made a mistake on a restart late and fell back.
But, what could have been one of the greatest Rookie of the Year battles of all time kind of underwhelmed, and now it's basically over. Damn shame is what it is. When was the last time we had an actually amazing rookie battle?
2017 wasn't that bad between Suarez and Jones because they both were around each other the entire season in points. That's really the last one I can think of.
Can't argue with that.
Because the last 2 years have been pretty terrible. 19 and 18.
18 was obviously going to be William Byron. As much as I like Bubba, he didn't stand a chance that year.
Yeah.
And then who was last? Oh right, last year was Hemrick. That was atrocious. Is what that Rookie of the Year battle was. It was going to go to Hemrick, but even
it was Hemrick v. Priest last year.
But even then, that battle wasn't exactly exciting either because they were both just mid-pack teams the entire year. Xfinity Series.
Like since I became a fan of NASCAR, there's not really been a great Rookie of the Year battle. Because 2014, that was last since a war. And then 2015 was Moffitt, which was another one of the bad classes. I can't think of who the other ones were.
16 was Elliott, and then Blaney and Buescher were also in that class.
Yeah. Did Buescher get second in that class?
Buescher automatic. Yeah, Buescher got second in that class.
Because Buescher finished higher than Blaney in points.
Yeah, Buescher got jumped to second in that class because he got a win and made the playoffs, and Blaney didn't.
Yeah. Brian Scott was also in that class.
So was Jeffrey Earnhardt.
Yeah. I remember Brian Scott. The only thing I remember about him was the 2015 July Xfinity race when he led the entire race and they got wrecked with 20 to go.
I've honestly wiped Brian Scott from my memory, and I don't even hate him like a lot of people do. He's just forgettable.
Yeah.
At least those battles weren't as bad as say 2010 or 2011, where they were where they were actually non-existent.
Yes.
2012 wasn't much better either. As much as I love Josh Wise, that battle was atrocious.
Yeah.
And even
so I'm looking at my.
Sorry, go ahead.
So I'm looking at my predictions back from August, is when I redid them, and they're as I thought they would be. The round of 16, I had Custer and DonlanDesignz, which was right. And then I had Dillon and Boyer who went out the run after them. Round of 12, I had Kurt Busch, Kyle Busch, Byron, and Amarola. So everyone but Kurt got eliminated. But then I also had Blaney going to the round of 8. I did have Bowman going to the round of 8 too.
Huh.
And I had Paddock as my champion again.
So, between Harvick and Hamlin, who would you say deserves the title more this year?
Probably Harvick.
I would have to agree with you there.
Just because looking at their stats, Harvick's had a better year than Hamlin's, not just the wins. But Harvick, I think it's finished. Like I heard it yesterday, but I want to check it before I say anything. But Harvick's only finished outside the top 10 like 3 times this year.
Yeah, and
5 times every year.
and from what I understand, I don't know if this has changed since I last read this, but at the time I read this, it said the only two drivers without DNFs this season were Daniel Suarez and Harvick, but Suarez has DNF'd since then, and I can't remember if Harvick has DNF'd or not.
Harvick's yet to DNF. Suarez has DNF twice.
Yeah, this is I think it's safe to assume this is without question Harvick's best season ever.
He's only finished outside top 10 so far this year at the first booster race, Martinsville Homestead, Daytona Road Course, Daytona Speedway, Talladega, and the Roval yesterday. That's it.
You know, as much as I wanted Hamlin to win the title earlier this year, I think if someone other than Harvick were to win it, it wouldn't feel right. Because he's absolutely went on a tear this year.
Well, if you want to go talk about some championship predictions, who do you think is going to make? Well, do you want to just go through the round of 8? Kind of just feel how our picks are for the round of 8.
Be my guest.
Yeah. So Kansas is the first race in the round. I think there's a couple drivers. I think Chase has a good shot at Kansas. Just looking at his stats, he got top 5s at Kansas from fall 2018 to fall 2019, with the first, fourth, and a second. I think Chase can be in contention there. And so can Bowman. Bowman's always been good at Kansas. But I do think Hamlin will win that race, probably. What about you?
I don't normally make race predictions, and I don't. Since I'm going to Kansas, I don't want to jinx anybody. So I'm just gonna say, for the time being, I'm gonna skip my race predictions and just guess my round of 8 eliminations and final 4 when you get to yours.
Yeah. So Texas, I think it's gonna be Harvick's race. He's won there the past couple years. I think he'll continue to 4 straight. I think he's going on 4 straight now in the fall Texas race. Martinsville's going to be Logano or Truex's race. Probably Truex based on recent history, where Truex winning the last 2. So I'd go Truex. And then the final pick is interesting because, in my opinion, of the last 5 guys, which is Logano, Elliott, Kurt Busch, Keselowski, and Bowman, all can make it. I really think only 3 of them deserve to make it. I don't think Busch and Bowman are as good this year as the other 3. I would have to say, if I wanted it to be, I'd want it to be Keselowski. I think he could. I'll pick Keselowski because I think he could possibly be the most competitive of the 3 of them at Phoenix, even though Logano won there earlier this year. And this round just suits Brad as well because he's always good at Martinsville. He's normally pretty good at Texas, and he can probably make it through at Kansas as long as it doesn't happen like last year. So what about you?
Okay. Hamlin and Harvick are locks immediately for me. They've been the 2 best guys all season. Hamlin may have fallen off in this round at the end of last year, but that was last year. Things are probably going to be different this time around. So Hamlin and Harvick, without question, are locked for me in my round of 4. I would also put Keselowski in my round of 4. He's basically been another quiet voice all season, but he's been there, and if we weren't talking about the playoff standings, the non-playoff standings, he's 3rd right now. So that is definitely worth something. and he's been good at Kansas. He's run well at Texas. Martinsville, I haven't seen a lot of him running up front there, so that's iffy. But I feel like he can run well enough to make it on into the round of 4.
Yeah.
And then as for my final pick, definitely not Bowman or Kurt Busch. They've been good, but they've not been the best all season. I'm also going to rule out. Who do I have left to rule out? I'm going to. Wait, snap. Who's left? I'm forgetting someone.
So you have your final 4 right now is
Hamlin and Harvick
and Keselowski.
and the ones I'm not considering are Busch and Bowman.
Busch and Bowman.
I'm forgetting.
So you have Truex Jr., Logano, and Chase Elliott.
Oh, so I wasn't forgetting anybody. I was just bad at math. Okay. Oh, this is tough because they've all had good seasons, but. I don't think Truex is gonna make it. I think he's been good, but he's been consistent. I'll give him that, but he hasn't had the speed necessary to be able to go out and run up front and go out and get wins. So I don't think Truex is gonna make it. Chase has been good on road courses for a while now, but the problem is, wait, remind me, where has Chase won this year besides the road courses?
He won at Charlotte.
Charlotte, okay. Okay, so he has a chance, and Logano. I think I'd probably say Elliott over Logano in this instance.
Logano's kind of fallen off late in the year. Logano's year has been very consistent, which is surprising because he's normally pretty consistent. Like last year, he was second basically all year in like points.
Yeah, no. As much as I think Joey has a chance, I'm thinking that Elliott's just been running better all season. I think it is going to be Chase. So my final 4 is going to be Harvick, Hamlin, Keselowski, and Elliott.
How long has it been since Chevy's been in the final 4? Was it 2016 the last time?
Who was 17?
I think so.
Who was 17?
Truex, Kyle Busch, Keselowski, and Harvick.
Okay, 18 was.
And that was the year that Harvick went to Ford.
Yeah. 18 was the big 3 in Logano, and last year was the big 3 again in Keselowski?
Who would you consider the big 3? Would it be Busch, Truex, and Hamlin?
Oh yeah, was it? Did all of 2018's big 3 make the final 4 last year?
Yes, and then Hamlin.
Okay. Yeah, so 2016 would have. Yeah, so 2016 was the final time we had a Chevy in the final 4.
Yeah. Last year we had 2 was Gordon and Truex in 2015.
And then 14 we had Newman.
Newman and Harvick. 2014 was a great championship race. I just remember that race because that was the first championship race I watched. That was a good one. I remember like that one a lot.
I don't necessarily remember a lot of the 2014 races and how their quality was because I wasn't focused on how good racing was back then. I was still young and I was more focused on crashes than anything else.
Yeah.
Which I regret because like 2014 is touted as one of the greatest years in in recent memory, and I regret not being able to enjoy that when I was able to.
Yeah, I didn't enjoy it from the critical standpoint. I just liked it because my favorite driver was Gordon, and Gordon won 4 times that year. It was great throughout the year. It was just a good year, in my opinion. It was a good variety of winners. And you had the favorites, and then there was the underdogs that all competing against each other. It was just a good, balanced year, in my opinion.
Can't argue with that. But you mentioned playoffs, though. What about the Xfinity Series playoffs?
Out of the Final Four, who I think's going to make it? Well, I feel like Ryan Sieg is sadly not going to. Sieg's not going to do it.
Oh, no.
He doesn't have to play off points.
I love
going to win.
I love Sieg. I love him a lot, but there's no way. I'm honestly surprised he even made it out of the round of 12. I mean.
Yeah.
I'm also surprised Harrison Burton didn't advance.
Yeah, that was a shock. I think he would have made the Final Four because he just has been pretty consistent throughout the year, but just that first round did not benefit him with the Super Speedway and the Roval. And he's never really been a great road course racer, if I can remember right. So, I think he'll probably get another year or two in Xfinity, and then he'll eventually move up to Cup. For him. And at this point, I gotta say that, Briscoe and Cindric have basically been the Harvick and Hamlin of the Xfinity Series this year.
Oh yeah, no, you're not wrong. Those two have just been out. They've been dominating left, right, and center.
Yeah, I don't see a reality that those two don't make it. Especially with how good Cindric's been on the 1.5 mile tracks this year. And same with Briscoe. I think they'll both probably win it in the next round.
Yeah.
I think Martinsville's going to be a wild card for them because they haven't raced in Martinsville in 10 years. And not a lot of them have experience. Well, some of them do from the truck series. But that's much shorter races down trucks. I think Gragson could win that race. Gragson was always pretty good at Martinsville in the truck series.
It wouldn't surprise me if he did, and I actually have Gregson making my Final Four as well.
Yeah, I'd put him in as well. That's the last guy, so we have Allgaier's in it, Brendan Jones is in it, who's the other guy? And Chastain and Haley. So it's, those four I think are going to be a close battle between, I don't think Haley will really be in it.
I don't think so either.
Haley will have a good round, but just not good enough. It almost reminds me of Matt Tiff's 2018 season. I think that was last year with Xfinity. When he was with RCR. He was consistent. Of course, Haley has the wins this year. But I just don't think he'll be good enough. I think there's guys better than him that will make it. I would say Allgaier will probably make it out of those three.
Yeah, I would think so. Chastain, having not won a race this season, doesn't exactly forebode well. And I think Chastain's inability to win a race this season, I think, because at this point, I don't think he's going to make the Final Four because he's been. This is the same thing with Truex. He's been good. He's been really consistent all year long, but he has not been able to pull it all together and go out and win one.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he is able to win one of these three races. Because he's been fast in 1.5 mile tracks in Kansas and Texas. Both I feel like suit him, and he had a good run at Martinsville in the Truck Series last year. So I can see him happening, but he's kind of already on the back foot. I don't know if he'll be able to dig himself out of the hole. He's already minus 15. Thanks. What about the Truck Series? Or do you not really pay attention to the trucks?
No, I pay attention to all three top series. Ooh, wait, who's in? Ooh,
I actually have it up here. It's the one. It's Austin Hill, Sheldon Creed, Zane Smith, Grant Enfinger, Brett Moffitt, Ben Rhodes, Matt Crafton, Tyler Eagle. I don't think Yankum will be able to compete out of this other guys. He's just not had a great year.
Yeah, no, I have to agree with you there. I'm honestly surprised Ankrum even made it out of the round of 10.
Yeah.
You want Garen? Sorry, go ahead.
I had some pretty high expectations for Ankrum this year. I think I had him definitely in the championship 4, if not the champion. Like in my preseason predictions, and he just not lived up to that, which stinks. Because I like Ankrum. He's just not been good enough this year, in my opinion.
You want somebody that's absolutely going to make the Final Four? Sheldon Creed.
I'm not sure about that. I think Sheldon has a good buffer right now. Inside, he is plus 12 right now. But I could honestly see him wrecking in all 3 races. Because he is some kind of prone to wrecking at times. So, I actually probably don't have him in the championship 4. I don't. Because I would pick, Austin Hill I think is going to make it. I think Austin Hill's just very, very, very good driver. He's really going to show his talents this year. I think Zane Smith will also make it. And Moffitt. And then I think the last one will probably be one of the 3 store sport trucks. Probably Crafton. Because, he's really good at Kansas and Martinsville. He's pretty good at Kansas and he's really good at Martinsville. And he's probably manageable at Texas, if I can remember right. So my Final Four would be Austin Hill, Zane Smith, Brett Moffitt, and Matt Crafton.
I think, for me, my Final Four is, I think it's fairly simple. I think my Final Four is going to be Austin Hill, Sheldon Creed, and Zane Smith. And then I think I'm going to put Enfinger in there as well. Because I think the first 3 are fairly obvious. They've been some of the best guys all season. And I think while Enfinger hasn't had as much consistency as he normally has, he's definitely had a lot of speed this year. And I think that's going to be able to carry him.
Yes. I feel like this is kind of Enfinger's like almost like a breakout here. I'm trying to compare him to another driver that kind of did this, but I can't really think of one. But they had like a good year, like maybe Brad Keselowski in 2011, 2012. He had a good year this year, but I think next year he'll win the title. It had like an awesome year, like 6 or 7 wins.
Oh, I'm hoping that's the case as well. Speaking of Zane Smith, it's been confirmed that he'll be returning for the full Truck Series season next year.
Cool. I think he needs 1 more year in trucks. I would like to see him get a couple of training starts this year at least.
Yeah. I wonder if Junior has any available races left in the 8, since Sam Mayer... I don't understand why Junior's doing this already. I feel like Sam needs a full season in trucks at least, because this is exactly what Junior did with Zane Smith. They jumped him immediately from like ARCA to Xfinity for a few races, and then that didn't exactly go over well, so Zane had to drop back down to trucks, and is doing really, really well now.
The one thing I'm hoping for is that, they can have 5 cars like full time in the Xfinity series. So I think that he'll end up opening up the 88 again. Whenever Sam Mayer takes over the 8 is what I'm guessing he'll end up taking over. But it hasn't been confirmed yet, I don't think, what number he will be. He could take over the 1 or probably not the 7 or the 9. Well, definitely not the 9, but he could take over the 1, which I've heard a couple rumors that he may. championship picks? Because we kind of went over the round of 4 picks, but who would be your champion?
Cup and Xfinity are fairly self-explanatory. Harvick and Briscoe, because those two have been the best guys in their respective series all year. Truck is hard. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, you can go, and then I'll do mine after.
Okay. So Truck is a bit harder because there hasn't been a clear best guy all season. But if I had to, I would probably say Sheldon again because he's just had a lot of speed.
If I was in my picks, well, I'd have Harvick win the Cup championship. Xfinity, I have Allgaier. I think Allgaier will win it. Mainly because Allgaier is really, really good at Phoenix. Probably the best driver in the Xfinity Series at Phoenix. And I think he'll be able to win that race. And the Truck Series, I know I had Moffitt winning it back in like August, but I think it will probably be Austin Hill at this point of the guys I have going to the Final Four. Because I don't think Crafton will be able to really compete against the other 3 of my Final Four at least. And I don't really feel like Zane Smith will be able to do it yet. Because has Smith ever really raced at Phoenix?
Not to my knowledge, he hasn't.
I'm gonna check on Racing Reference. I don't remember him ever doing it.
I don't know if what.
He did. He raced there last year, and he finished 5th.
Oh, wow.
He started 6th, finished 5th. Though I still think that it will probably be Austin Hill. I just want to see him win the championship as well. Because he's a pretty cool driver, especially with this kind of story of kind of working for it down the Truck Series, like down on lower tier rides for so long, and finally getting the promotion. So I'd love to see him do it.
Yeah.
So looking at last year, if my Final Four was in it last year, of course, Zane Smith wasn't racing, the champion would have been Matt Crafton. He finished 6th. Moffitt was 10th in Shogun. And where did Austin Hill finish 13th? But Austin Hill did start on pole. So.
All right. So that's that out of the way. And then you said silly season as well. Did you not?
Yeah. Maybe just Cup. Unless you want to talk about the lower series.
There's not much of the lower series that we can talk about because there's not exactly a whole lot of speculation right now.
Because I was looking at yesterday, the only rise for Everton in the lower series right now are Burton, I think, is back in the 20 next year. Mayer in the 8, or whatever number that's going to be. Gregson in 9, Smith in the 21, in the Trucks. I think that's it. Maybe Crafton in the 88. I doubt he'll end up leaving, but I think he has a contract anyway. But I'm not too sure. There's no Wikipedia page on it, or JSKI page isn't up yet for those 2 series. But Cup, there is a lot of speculation. So do you want to just kind of go down the list on Wikipedia? I don't know if you have it open, but I do.
Yeah, be my guest.
So you want to just kind of go down the list? Hendrick, the 4th Hendrick charter. I think it's going to be Larson. I think it will end up being 25, though, not the 88. I think they'll renumber it. What about you?
That 4th Henrik car is a coveted piece of material. I will say that. I want it to be Larson because he's my second favorite of all time. But I don't know if Rick is gonna have to pull some voodoo magic or something if he wants to get Chevy to back Larson again.
But at the same time, if it's someone going to be able to do it, it's going to be Rick Hendrick. He's like the one guy to be able to do that.
Yeah. But I don't know. I'm not comfortable enough saying it's gonna be Larson. I'm gonna say it's gonna be Eric Jones.
I know in it's picked up regulation again. How about the 37 at JTG? That ride hasn't been confirmed yet.
Ryan Priest's PR guy confirmed that Priest would be returning to that ride, so.
Nice. He really came on the second half of the year. Well, his last couple races. So he had that bad start to the year, of course, but middle of the year when the 3 last place finishes, and I think he even fell behind Swerve in points at one point. So yeah, that's good for him though. Petty's 43.
I'm gonna go with Ty Dillon on that one. I think Ty is someone that I think would fit the 43 really well, and as far as I know, I don't think the only other ride I could see him maybe go to would be the Gaunt brothers, but I think he fits with Richard Petty more.
Yeah. I'm also gonna say Ty Dillon. I just don't see another obvious candidate right now for that ride, except maybe Eric Jones. And I've heard Daniel Hemrick's name thrown out there, but I don't see that happening. I think Hemrick will be down in Xfinity again next year. But with a new team, maybe colleague. I'm not sure. Then there's the 2 Spire rides, the 77 and it's currently to be announced.
I honestly think people have thrown Justin Haley's name around. I don't think Haley would go with Spire.
Yeah.
Also,
I do think.
Sorry, go ahead.
I do think it will be Haley, though. I feel like he's gonna get a little rushed up, especially with that win a couple years ago. I think Spire will be a better team next year than they are this year. I think they will run probably around like where Jermaine is running right now, where Levine Family Racing's running, and the 32 is running around that spot. Same with Trackhouse. I think they'll be a little bit better, and I do see them rushing up Haley. I think, which is gonna be a little sad. I think Haley shouldn't be rushed up yet, but I think it will end up happening. And what about the second ride? What number do you think is going to be first of all?
Well, it's certainly not going to be the 78 because BJ McLeod owns that number.
Yeah.
Maybe 76?
That would make sense.
I don't know, though.
I was originally thinking it would be the 16, because I thought, I was expecting Matt Collick to kind of buy in with the team and become like Spire Motorsports with Collick Racing or whatever. But I don't think I see that happening anymore. I would have to say the 74, because I used that, of course, even though it was really only for that movie, or the TV show, whatever it was. But 74 is going to be my best guess right now. I would think it would be kind of cool if they ran like the 71 or something, though. Or like 70.
That'd be nice. I don't know. I don't know. Ever since Spire dumped Brennan Poole, I've always had a bad blood with them. So I don't like Spire. I never have. But I don't know. I think it's just going to be back markers again. Guys like Reed Sorensen and JJ Yeley just populating those rides.
I would like it. I'd like it to be Allmendinger at least part-time. Because I feel like Allmendinger could somehow get a win for that team. I could see it being an Allmendinger Corey LaJoy split. Because LaJoy said on the Sunday Morning podcast that he had a really good Xfinity ride and a pretty good or okay Cup ride lined up and it's going to be announced soon. But I could see the 77 or the 74, whatever number they're going to have the second Spire car could be a Corey LaJoy car. But I don't think it'll be full-time next year. Well, I think the car will be full-time, but I don't think LaJoy will be full-time next year.
Suppose we'll find out. What's next?
There's 2 front row cars. I think they're gonna stay the same.
I don't. Sorry, go ahead.
I just don't see any reason to switch them at this point. They're both I think John Hunter's a great driver. I think John Hunter is racing way too hard right now for what the car can handle.
Yeah, no, neither do I. I like J10 a lot. I'm okay with McDowell, and McDowell has done pretty well for himself this year. John Hunter needs another year at least before they pull any plugs. They don't need to pull what Richard Childress did with Daniel Hemrick and just dump him after 1 year.
I could see John Hunter going to the 43 though, an outside move, because he does have a relationship with Chevy, and he also has I don't know if he still has it, but he does have. Well, used to have a relationship with Chip Ganassi, and I could see him going to the 43 and almost taking an alliance with Chip Ganassi instead of RCR kind of breaking that alliance off. But I don't see it happening at this point. I think he's going to be stuck on 38 for 1 more year, at least. That's 32. Go fast.
The ones that I'm thinking for the 32 are also the ones I want to get the 14.
So I guess that would be Briscoe and Larson.
Yeah.
I could see Larson getting this ride if he doesn't get the 400 ride. I would like to see Kaz Growler get it, because I know there was the rumors that Growler was going to get it. Though at the same time, I don't want to see Growler brushed up. I would like to see Growler at least 1 more year with RCR. I could honestly see, because of his partnership with Can-Am, and I know this Go Fast had it, and with a lot of road courses, I could see out to the base somehow getting this ride. As an outside chance. Because he has the relationship with Can-Am. Of course, he raced the Can-Am car this weekend, and he had it from 2018, and they had Can-Am with the Benedetto was with the team. So I could see LeBay as an outside shot. But I really think that ride's going to come down to whoever Tony Stewart and Gene Haas want over, since they have the technical alliance. I guess if I had to make a prediction, I would say Grala, but I don't really know right now.
I think I said this last week or the week prior. I don't remember who, but I did say that I wanted to see Larson go to a smaller team first, and then earn his way back to a good ride. So I think this is the perfect place to put Larson for now. And then maybe if, say, Almirola gets booted in a few years, they can put Larson back at SHR.
I can see that too. The next ride, of course, is the 14. I'm going to say it's definitely Briscoe at this point. I don't know about you.
Yeah, no, I would definitely say Briscoe. The dude reached his goal of 8 wins. I mean, he's basically ready for Cup.
He is. I think he even makes him more a good option with how many road courses there on the schedule next year, because he's a good road course racer as well. I see him getting it. And then technically the 41's open next year because Custer's not been confirmed to go back yet, but Custer's not leaving that ride.
Oh no.
There's no chance.
Not by a long shot.
Then the rest of the Rick Ware. Then the last rides that are yet to be announced are the Rick Ware rides, and
those are going to be back markers.
Other than the 15, I don't really see anyone doing a full season for them. I think Poole will be back in the 15. I could see Gauding get a good amount of races in the 27 next year, and then Davison will probably get a good amount of races as well in the 51 and 53. But they'll have random guys in it every week. Joey Gase. Oh no, who else? Josh Blicky. I think those guys will be back in it next year. So there's 2 more teams. Well, there's one team that has a silly season announcement yet to be made, and one that has made it but they don't have a number. What number do you think the Michael Jordan team's gonna get? Jordan Hamlin.
I don't know. What was Jordan's number when he was playing basketball?
be Toyota. They don't have a manufacturer announcement yet either, but they're gonna be Toyota.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you heard me. What number do you think? What number was Jordan whenever he played basketball?
I thought it was that year. It was 23.
Okay, and no one owns a 23 right now, as far as I know, so they could, if they wanted to, use that.
Well, the only thing that could possibly go would be front row, because that was the old BK Racing number, and they of course bought BK Racing, so they may own it, but most likely it's not owned by a team at this point, because it hasn't been used in 2 years now.
Yeah, and then I'm assuming the last team we need to figure out is the Gaunt brothers.
Yes, it's Gaunt Brothers.
I don't know, honestly. I want to say Brandon Jones, but I feel like they're going to keep him in Xfinity for another year.
I think it's going to be Brandon Jones. I think he's going to hit that ride full time too. I think he'll be going for Rookie of the Year in that ride next year. And you don't see him. I think probably, I guess we'll replace him in the Xfinity Series. That's be my guess. Even though I guess may not be ready to move up yet from his truck stats this year.
He's only had a year, hasn't he?
Yeah, but at the same time, Harrison Burton only had a year. And Burton's been pretty good this year, except for, of course, getting eliminated this past round. I could see them possibly moving him up a little early.
I don't know.
I see the 18. I could see Eckes moving over. I'm not Eckes. Herbst moving over to the 19 if they want to keep him and Brandon Jones moves up, because I think Herbst is probably going to stay with them. I know there's been a couple rumors that he won't, but I doubt it. I think the 18 will probably end up becoming the All-Star car again, where like Hamlin and Kyle Busch and whoever else they want in that car for next year. Bubba Wallace, maybe.
We'll see.
I just I'm checking out Twitter to see if anything else happened. The only thing I can see so far is Jim Utter finally deleted the tweet from yesterday. I don't know if you heard much about that or not.
I heard briefings of it. What was the general consensus of that?
So what happened is that during the race they were saying Alex Bowman was not feeling well inside the car, and Dale Jr. Said that Alex does deal with like some anxiety and stuff, and that is something that he struggles with. And then Jim Utter decides that it's his job to go tweet out whenever Alex Bowman did something. Like Alex Bowman had taken the lead a couple laps later, so Jim Utter tweeted out #AnxietyAlex takes the lead, and then I think he said #AnxietyAlex. He tweeted out 3 times with three tweets with the #AnxietyAlex in it, and everyone got mad at him because he's really making fun of mental health. Yeah. He finally deleted it, but a lot of people want him to face at least some sort of whatever it's called, punishment. And that's from not just the fans, several reporters and stuff like that want him to face it as well. Like Cassie Fambro has been talking a lot about that. Joseph Lombard has a couple of drivers up too. I think Josh Bilicki did. Robbie Lyons, NASCAR Chasm. Yeah. A lot of people want him to get punished in some way, but he's not even employed by NASCAR. He's employed by Motorsports, so who knows if he will. So.
Yeah, no, that is crossing a line. I struggle with my own issues in terms of social anxiety. So yeah, that's not something you really want to joke about or apply to someone.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and Austin Terry also said something. I remember seeing that this morning.
Wait, what?
Austin Terry also said something about that this morning. All I remember about his is that he wanted to see if anyone was interested because he deals with some anxiety. If he wanted to do like a private Zoom, we can kind of be open about it and stuff like that.
Wow.
Which really shows how good of a guy Austin Terrio is.
Terrio deserves better. I'm still mad he hasn't gotten a full-time ride yet.
Yeah. And then the only other piece of kind of news is Colleague Racing is looking to move to Cup in 2022.
Oh, they are?
Yes.
I
was expecting to be next year, but they're looking at 2 years right now. But that may not happen. That could be just as well as not happening as it could be happening. If that makes any sense.
Well, if they were to move to Cub, I wouldn't be surprised if they kept Haley around. Just for, to move him up to Cup with them. But, yeah, I think that's everything. Would you?
I would say so. I'm just reading an article because John Henry, who is a part owner of Roush, which makes the Fenway part, could merge with a thing called Red Ball Acquisition Corp. It actually includes a lot of stuff that are pretty big, well known, of course. Boston Red Sox, Fenway Park, Nesson, Liverpool, the Salem Red Sox, Roush Fenway Racing, and Fenway Motorsports Management. So that would be interesting if they do end up merging.
Huh.
I don't know what Red Ball is, but nothing else.
Alright, and that will conclude this edition of TMFD One-on-Ones. Thank you all so much for listening. Thank you to DonlanDesignz for coming on, and we will see you all next time. Farewell.